So we met up for dinner. And while we were at dinner, he was like, do you want to go to Costa Rica? And I was like, yes.
Wait. This is the very first time you met him?
Very first time.
And he offered to fly you?
Was his name Podcast Fanboy?
Welcome to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. Here's your host, Marcus.
Welcome to another episode of Secrets of a Sugar Daddy, the #1 sugar dating podcast in the world, where we pull back the curtains on the good and the bad, and Bad Brad, the shocking. You're looking at me with a blank stare.
Shocking
the
stories.
shocking stories.
We have several of them from
sugar dating.
From the party that we had.
So Bad Brad, you guys have never heard his voice before. He was a sponsor of our party.
Yep.
Last minute sponsor.
Last minute. I had to work up the nerve to make sure I was going to come out here.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And he has come back to Scottsdale for some business, and we grabbed him because we have a special guest in the studio today, and Lilly is still in the islands of Curacao.
Yeah, I flew across the country to meet the den mother, and she's not here.
Yeah,
so.
she's not here.
Is this her throne that I'm sitting in?
Yeah.
Okay.
You are on her throne.
All right.
You feel special?
I do feel special. So, I just next time I hope that she's here. But, I heard she doesn't like her name, so I'm going to have to work on some new names for her. So,
she doesn't like the name Den Mother?
Yeah.
Actually, she's kind of taken
she's
to
starting
that,
to grow to, because I was thinking, Miss Trucker or
Miss Trucker
or Lady Trucker.
It might be Miss Trucker.
You're right.
Mrs. Trucker by the time she gets back from the islands.
That would be great because Trucker's amazing. He's
you met him at the party.
He came up and introduced himself, and he even gave me some money for some of the alcohol that was taken at the hotel there. So
before we get to our guests, let's talk about the party a little bit.
Yeah.
You are an avid listener of the show.
I was, yeah.
Or
I am, yes.
Yeah. And here you are actually in the studio where we record the show.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe it.
What do you think?
It's amazing to be here. Where's the confessional booth? Because I feel like I feel like I need to come in here and maybe repent and tell some stories, or like a psychiatrist's couch, lay down on and share my stories, so to speak.
The last minute, you contacted us. Hey, do you still have any spots available?
Right.
For a Sugar Daddy sponsor of our party last November.
Yeah.
And what prompted you to reach out to us?
Well, like I said, I've listened to every episode pretty much. Mm-hmm. And so I've been following along with the show and the podcast. And initially I wasn't sure just from the dates. It was close to Thanksgiving. And I had some other personal things going on. But eventually I worked some things out. I was like, okay, I could pull this off. And then it's funny, you keep listening to the episodes, you're like, we only have a few more spots left, or a few more dates left. And I was like, if I don't do something now, I'm going to miss out. And so it truly was working up a little bit of the nerve. Just part of what I love about the podcast and what you've done is, made this, it's a band of brothers, if you will, or, we have this open discussion and talk about the lives that we've been living all these years. And really, frankly, I've never opened up to hardly anyone about this life that I've lived. And so there's a little bit of like, I'm going to go here and what's it going to be like? I think Victoria said that too, not knowing what to expect, but eventually you just have to say, I'm going to take the risk. I'm going to take the plunge. And thank goodness that I did. Yeah.
And you end up getting a suite over at the W.
I did.
We had fun in that suite, didn't we?
We did. I paid dearly for that on the next day, but there's some cleanup fees and alcohol. But let me tell you, whatever the fees were, it was worth it because it was an amazing suite. I just had the idea, I was going to stay at the W just because I'd heard it on the podcast and I knew it was fairly close to everything. And I started looking at the rooms, and then I saw those suites on there, and I was like, well, we may want to have a area to go to because initially we were just going to meet in the bar down there. So I offered up to her. I was like, hey, if you guys, want to come up to the suite later, let's do that. Which it ended up being the best thing that happened, in my opinion.
Like the party before the party, which ended up being quite a gala.
Absolutely.
The girls were dressed to the nines.
It was, exactly. They looked amazing, all of them. And the best part, you weren't there with me, but I stayed in the hotel room kind of while they gathered everybody else and brought them up to my room. So just picture a hallway of 20 women walking down the hallway. They all look amazing, and they're all coming to my room, and I'm holding the door open, like, hi, nice to meet you. Welcome to the party. So
you're like, this Marcus is a fucking genius.
Absolutely. I'm going to move here now at this point. It was amazing. And guys and girls though, I met Short King 30 seconds in, and it's like we're best friends. I'm helping him. He's carrying $500 worth of alcohol up to my
Right,
room, and you
right.
would think, we'd been best friends for life. So, hanging out and talking with him, and then podcast fanboy. I mean, he's my spirit animal now. This guy's living a great life at his age, and I'm still texting with him, still texting with Short King, and there's a brotherhood between the fellas that were there too. But yes, of course, the gorgeous women were really why we were all there, and there were several of them.
Well, we sure are glad you came. You feel like a brother to us now, your family.
Yeah.
And you said, I'm not missing another party.
Right. I'm not missing another party. Absolutely. No, I told you it would have to be kids graduating from school or something. That's where I'm not going to be here. That's going to be something serious.
Well, we are in the process of planning our next party, so keep tuned. We will throw the information on the website when we get all the details worked out. But for our listeners, you're definitely going to want to make that, right,
Absolutely.
Bad Brad?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Great meeting people from all over the country too, and even outside the country. We had Miss London there, and and again, as you said, I think in one of the earlier episodes, that there was no fighting. There was no, everyone was just cool and chill, and it was like this one big family that we were just all hanging out and having a great time.
Yeah.
And so I was thrilled to be there and thrilled to meet these people in real life.
Well, and then you came into town for some business, and we took you to Maple and Ash last night, introduced you to another girl that Alejandra and I met through Dr. Charles.
Yes.
She just happened to be coming through town and came and visited us, and that was a really great experience.
She's amazing. She is amazing. So, thank you for that.
Hook a brother up.
No doubt about it. Wow. It's funny you asked, hey, do you want to go to dinner casually? I was like, okay, maybe. And then you go and you're like, oh, my God, thank God I didn't skip this.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we've made so many great friends and connections, and just feels like the family is growing.
Yeah.
And we really appreciate all of our listeners for helping spread the news about the podcast and participating, sending your applications in. And we look forward to bigger and better things.
Yeah.
You had some great ideas about some parties that we could throw possibly. So
I'm here to help.
We're kicking those around. Yeah.
Let's pull this off. I want to do this year round. I don't have to wait a year.
All right. Well, that's a little bit of a wrap up from Bad Brad. We got to cut him short because I've got a very special guest, and I met her kind of in the process. Alejandra and I hadn't become exclusive yet, and I was still meeting people. I met Lana, who we referred to as Muscle Girl. She had a great episode a few weeks ago, and she's actually down in Australia because she has met her person, her sugar daddy, who's turned into a love of her life. And we're real happy about that. And I know she's about headed back from Australia soon. So we're going to get an update on her. But another girl that I'd met, I guess she was fairly new into this. And according to her, I was the first guy she met. Wow. Which just shocks me as it happens. So let's go ahead and welcome Jen to the program.
Hey, Jen.
Are you going by Jen or Jennifer?
Whichever you prefer.
Okay.
I appreciate you bringing Jennifer Aniston to the podcast.
Yeah. Not to give too much away, but she's a dead ringer.
Dead ringer.
And
like young Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, the young one.
Yeah.
Yep, just going along with it.
So I saw your profile when I don't remember if I reached out first or if you. I think I probably did when
you
we met.
probably reached out first.
Yeah. And your profile, you're such a gorgeous girl. And when I set up the date or the first meet and greet, you never know what to expect because I've been catfished so many times. And here you walked in and your face was angelic. I was telling Bad Brad, I was like,
no doubt.
She came as advertised, which is very much appreciated.
Yeah.
I always get so nervous because I feel like that's what every date that you go on, they always say, girls never look like their pictures, but you look like your pictures. I'm like, oh, well, I sure hope so.
Yeah. But you definitely did not disappoint, and we had a great conversation, and then we set up another date, and I think that's the one where I took you to the casino.
Yes, so much fun.
She'd never played blackjack. She'd never thrown dice. And boy, she's there rolling the dice, hitting the cards.
I'm looking at him every time like, what do I do?
She's like, what do I roll? And, I'm giving her numbers that she needs to roll like she has control of it, right? And anyway, the chips come flying back our way. And she's like, are we winning? I'm like, well, let's just put it this way. You just minimized my losses from the blackjack table because we did win at the craps. And that was a lot of fun.
I remember that. We did do pretty good.
Are you a seasoned gambler now? As he turns you into, are you spending your weekends at the casino?
I'm totally seasoned. No, I have no idea what I'm doing still.
Yeah. But she wore this beautiful silk dress. Was it made out of silk or something?
Yeah, it was like
some
a silky.
nice silky material. And I'm telling you, she had the attention from all the guys.
I bet. I wish you'd wore it today.
I was walking around like a peacock out there, like strutting my stuff with this hot girl.
I bet you were.
You can never go wrong with a silky red dress.
Right.
Oh, that's right. It was red too, huh?
Oh, yes, it was.
Yeah, it was really nice. So
knew
we
what
had
I
a
was
lot of
doing.
fun. Alejandra and I ended up going exclusive, so I had to inform you that we could no longer see each other in that way. But you're still a friend of mine. We're friends on social media, and
Yes.
you laugh at our silly memes that we post.
I know. You guys post so much funny things, and I'm just sitting there like over and over looking through it.
Well, I go through and I pick stuff that I think people would understand or laugh at or kind of hit home to sugar dating or dating in general. And I'm sure you can probably relate to a few of those
So many of
on
them.
our Secrets of a Sugar Daddy Instagram page. All right, well, let's get into the whole thing of you moved to the Arizona area from up north. How long have you been here?
I have been here for about 6 years now.
Okay, and how old are you?
I am almost 30.
Almost 30.
Yep. I turned 30 this month.
Wow.
You having a big shindig? What are you
Yeah.
doing for your birthday?
So I am going to Universal Studios in Orlando
Really?
because it's going to be like my last, hurrah,
Yeah?
before I personally feel like I am an adult.
Yeah.
Gonna ride some rides and
Yep,
live
go a
it
little
up.
crazy, have some candy and stuff.
Yeah.
And then that'll be it. And then I'll be old.
Now, are you going solo, or is a sugar daddy taking you there, or what's going on?
No, so I'm going with a couple of girlfriends,
Okay. All right.
but I have had some assistance in
Some financial assistance
Yeah.
in getting there. Awesome.
Yes. And then I have other surprise things apparently planned. So
Okay. So you moved to Arizona, and you'd never dabbled in the sugar dating side of it before? or-
no. So I actually created my profile back in, I think it was 2019, but I never did anything with it.
Okay.
And then finally this year is when I got on there and finally started looking into things. And then luckily enough, you were my first meet and greet.
Which is just hard for me to believe, because I imagine your messages were just blowing up.
They definitely were. They were definitely blowing up. So I got very lucky meeting you first. And then I was able to start listening to the podcast. And
Were you a little freaked out by that when I told you that, or was it something that you just all of a sudden became instantly intrigued about?
I was instantly intrigued.
So I've had some people get a little skittish, like, I don't want you talking about me or anything on the podcast,
Right.
and they think I'm going to out them on
Right.
something.
Right.
No, I enjoy the attention.
There you go. Okay.
But I was able to start listening to the podcast. I was binging it, really. And there were so many things that I learned, and it just completely changed my mindset on a lot of things, not just on the sugar dating scene and things like that. So
Really?
I was really lucky to be able to meet you
Yeah.
so that things could transpire the way that they did.
Good.
He set the bar high, didn't he?
He sure did.
Well, tell us.
Nobody's met that bar.
Oh, wow. Right.
Really? Alejandra might be getting a little jealous on that one.
Your headphones are about to blow off your head there.
Yeah. Anyway, that's very nice for you to say that. So how's it been going?
It's been going great. I have definitely evolved, if you will, from the beginning of getting into sugar dating into now. In the beginning, it was kind of more of wanting to find myself sexually, really, is what I was doing in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So I dated a couple, and
Have you ever done that before?
No, that was the first time. And I never thought that I would do something like that. But
Okay, let's explore this a little bit.
Yeah.
I have questions.
I'm so glad that you asked that.
Bad Brad's over here.
Yeah.
Stop.
wait a second.
Rewind.
Do we have pictures?
Okay. Did they contact you first?
Yes.
And were they represented as a couple in their profile?
Yes.
Okay, so it was no surprise.
No.
And you're like, what's going through your head when you get this message?
So they actually weren't the first couple to reach out to me. I had quite a few who reached out, but I really wasn't interested in the other ones. And then this couple was just really hot. So they're a married couple, actually. And they reached out, and it was actually the wife who I was talking to first, which for some reason I felt more comfortable talking to the wife.
Okay.
So she gave me both of their numbers and their information and stuff like that. And I was just texting her. And then we went on like our first date or whatever. And I guess the husband was kind of like shy about it because he didn't think that I was interested in him. He thought I was only interested in his wife because I was only talking to her.
Now, have you ever been with another woman?
No.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So this was a first for many things for me, but it ended up being super fun. And in the end, though, it was just kind of a bit much. And they wanted me to be monogamous. And that's not really what I was interested in. I'm still not fully interested in monogamy. So just the thought of that was kind of a bit much.
Well, tell me how the initial meeting went.
So we went out to dinner, and it was more of just like a dinner going out with friends type thing to grab something to eat. And we just kind of got to know each other a little bit better. The husband, as I was saying, was a little bit shy in the beginning, which then made me want to talk to him more to get him out of his shell. And then I realized later on, after, we got some alcohol flowing and stuff, that he thought that I wasn't interested in him and was only interested in his wife.
Now, did you get the idea that they've done this before, or were they new to this?
They said that they have gone on hundreds of dates.
Really?
Off of Seeking.
I wonder what took him so long to come out of his shell.
It was just because he thought that I didn't like him.
Oh, okay.
That was it.
All right.
So then after that, he was like, oh, okay. So then everything was fine. And we went on a few dates, and it was really just really chill. It just felt like I was with friends type thing. And then we finally got to the stage of me going home with them, which was, it was interesting.
Okay,
it was
you're
different.
smiling, shaking your head.
Sounds pretty hot.
Can we get into that a little bit more?
Yeah, so I go over there, and we just laid down to watch a movie or whatever on their massive couch that they had. And it was the husband in the middle, and then the wife was just kind of like over on her phone, and then me. So the husband was kind of snuggling with me type thing.
Were you nervous about this at all?
Oh, I was very nervous.
Yeah.
I was very nervous.
Yeah. Because it's a little bit of the fear of the unknown.
Yes.
Sure. First time.
You don't
Like,
know.
I had to be a few wine glasses in
Yeah.
That always helps.
to loosen me up a little bit. And then we ended up hooking up and everything. And wow,
Wow, what?
I do enjoy girls.
Really?
She was very soft.
Yeah.
And having a man doing things to you while a girl is playing with your hair and whispering in your ear. And wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Your eyes are rolling back in your head right now.
Is there a window in here?
I very much so enjoyed that. And then it was the other parts, though, that I was kind of like, this is kind of like a lot. So then I ended up staying the night there, and we all went to bed, and there's 3 of us in a king-size bed, which, I mean, there's enough space and everything, but I like to sleep alone.
Yeah. I 100%
I don't even like to
understand
sleep
that.
with one other person.
Yeah.
Right.
So thankfully, the husband took the middle.
Yeah.
You just kind of rolled to the edge.
Yeah, but the whole time I was laying there like,
You just
can
weren't
we
comfortable.
can we like not have sleepovers and just
Yeah. I
do the
get
other
it.
stuff and then
spare
I
bedroom.
leave? Can I have my own
Spare
bedroom?
bedroom. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the 3 people sleeping together thing, that definitely I realized I didn't like that part.
So how long did this relationship last?
I would say it was really only a few weeks because I knew from the start that they wanted me to be monogamous. Like they wanted a true throuple
Yeah.
situation. Eventually,
Moving in.
yes, all of the things. And he was asking if I wanted kids and stuff. He was like, well, I'm just wondering like down the road if you want to have a kid. I was like, whoa.
With him or just in general?
With him.
Really?
Is within the thruple.
And they're married.
Yes.
It's turning into the HBO show Big. There's a show like that where they all move in together.
Yes. It was a lot.
Big love. That's what it is.
Apparently, the way that it all started is she is bi.
Okay.
And she's the one who introduced him into having threesomes. And then it just turned into them wanting to have a full-blown throuple. And the kids know about it.
They have kids?
They have kids.
Wow.
Yes, the kids know about it. And
How old are the kids?
they had a couple of older children and then one younger one.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot for a kid. Brad, what do you think
I
of
think
that?
that's a lot of pressure to put on it early, and that's probably why you were pumping the brakes for a little bit.
Oh, yeah, I was pumping the brakes.
Because it sounds like a lot of that was fun up until that point where you start talking about moving in and having kids. Whoa,
Yeah.
Yeah.
let's slow down here.
Yeah, I was kind of deer in the headlights there for that one. But it was fun while it lasted.
Would you do it again
Probably.
with another couple?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be wanting to do a throuple thing. I would more so want to be, I think they call it a unicorn.
Yeah.
Oh.
Where,
You have your fun and go home.
Alejandra got asked about that the other day.
yes.
Somebody
and
asked her.
it's fun.
Yeah.
There's no strings attached.
Yes.
And after you're done, you just go and they continue on their life and everybody's happy.
So after you've experienced your first woman, would you do just a woman
Probably not.
relationship?
Oh.
Probably not.
No, it's not your thing.
I do like the softness of a girl being there and being a part of everything, but I need a man. And I need a manly man.
Yeah. Okay.
That's good to hear. We're still relevant.
Yes.
Yeah. We don't want to be left out of all the equations.
Yeah. You haven't lost yet.
All right. So you had that experience.
Yeah. So that was pretty great.
Did they compensate you nicely?
So that was the thing. They were not doing a sugar dating type thing.
Even though they found you on a sugar dating site.
I know. I know. So they were very, very strict about that.
Really?
We're not doing that. What is going on here type thing. I think since Seeking has tried to kind of change its way, if you will, they must have gotten in maybe later or
So
something.
did you have a conversation about it or you just kind of let it go?
We did have a little bit of a conversation about it, but that is when I was more so just looking for experiences. Because I have actually been, for most of my life, in monogamous relationships. So there was not many experiences going on for me. So getting into sugar dating with everyone being so open about everything, it was so easy to just get all these different regular experiences and sexual experiences out of the way. So I was fine with it just being an experience of dating a couple. And I mean, they took me out to nice dinners and everything. So if I would have stayed with them, it definitely would have been a situation where they would take care of me and things like that. But yeah, no.
Well, the nice thing is for you is you have a good job
Yeah.
and you pay your own bills. And so
Yes.
sugar dating is just extra for you, isn't it? Or
Yeah, it's just extra.
Yeah.
It's fun. My main thing is I enjoy spoiling people. So the people that I am with, I'm going to spoil. But in my past, I haven't picked the correct people because they don't enjoy spoiling me back. And my love language is actually receival of gifts, but not so much that I want a designer purse on a monthly basis. It's more like, oh, you brought me a candy bar from the gas station. You were thinking about me and you know that I like candy bars, that type of thing.
Yeah.
So this is perfect for me.
Yeah. Now, have you had any serious relationships before you started sugar dating?
Yes. So those were all of my monogamous relationships. They were all multiple years long relationships.
Yeah.
Were they all vanilla? Or a lot of it? That sounds like you were branching out.
Yeah, so I would say that they went less and less vanilla as time went on, but they were never super exciting.
Right. Right.
And were these guys all around your age or were
Yes.
they older?
They were, well, I always dated a little bit older, but they were pretty much my age, within 3 years.
Did you have a friend or somebody that turned you on to seeking or sugar dating?
Yes. I don't even remember who was the one who brought it up, but I have been interested in sugar dating since I was young.
Really?
Wow.
Probably too young to be sugar dating.
Wait, you knew about it
Oh, yeah.
early on?
Oh, yeah. I knew about it early on. I had a couple of friends.
Got to be street legal here. Okay.
I had a couple of friends who were dancers, and I think they were the ones who were talking about it.
Like
strippers, yeah.
Okay.
And I think they were the ones who were talking about it in the beginning. That was kind of what I thought about sugar dating in the beginning, what they were doing, which what they were doing wasn't what I am doing.
Mm-hmm.
So they were using it incorrectly. So that was all kind of what I thought it was. And that's why I signed up in 2019. And then I didn't do anything with it because I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing what's expected to be done on here. And then I ended up thinking about it more and being like, well, maybe I could do it differently. And then I ended up meeting Marcus and listening to the podcast and realizing, so this is the way that I want to do it is something that's being done. And it's totally possible. There's plenty of people doing it.
Right.
I'm not going to be going on dates with people and then being like, do you not know what this is?
Right.
So
So are you looking for your person, or are you just looking to enjoy life at this point?
So I am having fun until I find the one.
Yeah.
It's a great way to look at it.
Yes.
Same thing I'm doing. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I would love to find my person. I'm definitely like a hopeless romantic, if you will. So finding someone like podcast fanboy, someone that's going to sweep me off my feet and is just like immediately romantic and wants to take me places and just so much fun, and being able to take the pressure off and just be with each other type thing. So I hope that I can find that eventually.
Well, Podcast Fanboy just messaged me and he wants your numbers.
Go ahead and send it on over.
He will definitely take you somewhere amazing. Every time we've kind of become friends, and every time I talk to him, it's like, what country are you in? What time zone are you in?
Oh my God. Are you listening, podcast?
Yeah, I'm
fanboy?
sure he is. He will be. There's no doubt. He's going to be asking. Yeah, he's reaching out right now.
I would love to go anywhere.
Yeah, I know. He leads a very interesting life.
I kind of call him the international man of mystery. You know, the little is known about him, but he's always he's in another country. He's CIA. He's something. I don't know.
That's what Lilly says.
And that to me just sounds so intriguing.
Yeah.
The international man of mystery.
Yeah.
I want to be the international woman of mystery.
There you go. All right, so after the couple, then what did you do?
After the couple, I was still kind of dating around while I was with the couple. And shortly after them, I met someone, and he was specifically looking for a travel partner. And I was like, great, I want to travel. Let's go. So we already kind of knew that this is what we're going to do. We're going to travel somewhere. So we met up for dinner. And while we were at dinner, he was like, do you want to go to Costa Rica? And I was like, yes.
Wait. This is the very first time you met him?
Very first time.
And he offered to fly you?
to go.
What was his name? Podcast Fanboy?
Weren't you a little nervous about this?
Slightly, but I am very spontaneous. So I had his full name and everything. I had to send him all of my information for him to book the tickets and stuff. So I was like, you need to send me your ID. I need your name. I stalked him online and everything. So he is a well-known person. So I knew that he was real and that I was going to make it out alive.
Yeah.
But I think we left for Costa Rica. It had to be like 2 or 3 weeks after that first meeting.
And how did it go?
So.
There was a big breath.
Ruh-roh. We got trouble.
So in the beginning, I thought that he was just kind of like geeky and nerdy, which I like that. I'm into that. But as I got to know him better over this 7-day long trip. He's not just geeky and nerdy. He's pretty odd. He's an odd guy.
Okay.
So in the beginning, it was fine. I was kind of giving him a chance, but once he started spilling his entire life story and all of his traumas to me in the ride to the resort.
Oh boy.
We hadn't even gotten there yet. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, couldn't we like slow it down? Like wait for dinner or like, I don't know, wait till we get into the resort. So
Interesting.
Yeah.
that was a little bit of the first kind of red flag for me, but it's also not really a red flag because for whatever reason, a lot of people will do that to me. They call it trauma dumping. I usually don't mind it. If I meet a stranger somewhere and they feel comfortable telling me things that they don't usually tell people, that is great. And I will listen. And I think all that they need is just someone to listen and not try and judge them on whatever they're talking about.
Okay, so before you'd gone down to Costa Rica, had you seen him again? Had you slept with him yet?
No. We went on one other date.
One other date?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And not to mention, he's dumping all this on the way to this beautiful tropical location. You're like, we're getting ready to start a vacation, and you're going to tell me about all
And
life's
you're gonna
sorrows.
do this. Yeah.
Like, let's talk puppy dogs and ice cream.
You're
Fun,
right.
fun things, right?
Yeah. So we get there and we immediately went to go take showers and stuff because we'd been traveling for so long. And this is before anything at all has happened. And I got in the shower. And then a couple of minutes later, here he comes right in the shower with me.
Really?
And I was like, oh,
Hello.
yeah, hello. Okay. So then we immediately got into it, which I was not expecting. I was expecting to take a shower, but it was fine. I mean, he was well endowed. So
Is that something that you're looking for, or you're just like a nice
It's a bonus.
It was
right?
just a bonus.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter either way, but it was the nice little bonus. And the trip itself was incredible. We did a ton of stuff. We went on a ton of excursions. He was kind of socially awkward, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time that I started getting irritated with him, it kind of wasn't even a big deal because if I didn't talk, we just didn't talk.
Yeah.
And then if I
is
felt
awkward.
like talking about something, we would talk. Mm-hmm. And it was fine. And we did all these things. We had a lot of time to do things. Towards the end, I guess it was maybe like the 4th day, I got sick. And he just happened to be a germaphobe.
Oh, he's one of those.
Yeah.
Lovely.
So for the rest of the trip, he stayed away from me.
Yeah. Which you're probably like,
Yeah,
And at that point, considering I was very annoyed
yeah.
by him, it was great.
yeah.
Were you still able to go out and do things, or you just stayed in the room and just?
No, we went out and did a bunch of things. I actually got to ride a horse on the beach.
All right, awesome.
Which is something that I have wanted to do forever. I have had horses, shown horses, ridden horses my whole life. So I nearly cried. It was amazing. And he didn't want to ride because one of the ladies scared him and told her that somebody got bucked off the other day. And I was like, I'll be fine. Let's go. So it was amazing. And we were the talk of the resort.
Why was that?
So
It was, how old was he?
Because Jennifer Aniston was there.
So he, I believe, was 55,
Okay.
but he looked older.
Oh, he's one
He
of those.
definitely looked older, and I apparently looked pretty young. So people would be, just kind of looking at us, and then they would kind of, whisper to each other. And
Did that make you feel uncomfortable, or you didn't give a
no, I enjoy attention. I really do.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's good.
whenever he would go away, one of the employees would come up, and this happened several times, would come up and go, so is he your dad or your boyfriend?
And what would you say?
And I would say, oh, he's my boyfriend, because obviously it's easier saying that.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, okay, so how are you enjoying?
Right. Because they were getting ready to ask for your number when you said it was your dad. They were going to be like, okay, great. You want to go out?
Yeah. So it was interesting.
Now, was this a compensated trip or just an experience?
Just an experience.
Which is really cool.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was fine.
Yeah.
I feel like if I would have pushed for it, it would have been compensated, but I just didn't really feel the need to. I mean, I got a free vacation. The vacation was amazing. I wouldn't have chosen Costa Rica, so I probably wouldn't have ever gone there potentially. So, I mean, it was amazing.
I hear Costa Rica's. Have you been there, Brad?
I have not been there.
Yeah.
No.
I hear it's definitely a bucket list item.
Definitely.
And
it
you
was
recommend
amazing.
it?
I do recommend it. Everyone there is so nice. Everybody says pura vida, which I believe means pure life.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm not completely sure what it's supposed to mean, but everybody says it and everybody's so friendly. I felt safe the whole time, even though it's like kind of like third world country looking in a lot
I've heard it's pretty Americanized. Like it's
In the
a
bigger
lot of
areas.
Americans are there.
Yeah, there are definitely a lot of Americans, at least in the touristy areas. I don't know about everywhere else, but it was amazing. So, yeah, that was a great experience.
Wow.
You get to ride a horse on a beach. So
And you never expected that.
No,
So
I did not expect that. So, he's gone now, so we won't be going anywhere else.
So you guys flew back together, I'm
Yes.
assuming. And then how did you part?
We just kind of trickled away from each other type thing and just stopped talking.
Okay.
It was funny though, because on the trip back in the airport, I definitely saw another couple who was clearly a sugar dating couple.
Yeah.
And she looked just as annoyed as I did.
Right.
Wow.
And the thing is, I have met so many people through sugar dating that I enjoy, and I would have much rather been on that trip with.
Right.
And in the end, I wouldn't have been annoyed, but it was just we went into it so quickly without knowing each other, and 7 days is a long time to be with anybody.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
I don't want
Yeah.
to be with my best friend for 7 days.
I've had some where I went on a few dates with, and then we went on a trip, and then you're locked, maybe not 7 days, but definitely like a long weekend. And then you're on the first day of that trip, you're like, oh boy, where am I? How do I get out of this?
Yeah, it was a year ago, almost to the day. Alejandra and I went to Hawaii,
Yeah.
and it was like I think it was 5 days, and we'd never spent that much time together. So I didn't know how it was going to go. Fortunately, it went well.
Yeah.
But yeah, you travel with somebody, and it can be interesting.
Right.
I had a sugar baby I was seeing right before Alejandra, and she told me about a guy that she went to Cancun with. And once they got there, they started fighting.
Yeah.
And it was just, she was like, the trip was miserable. We fought the whole time.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I
So,
definitely wouldn't want to be fighting.
I know.
I'd rather just be irritated.
But
Well, I think it was an irritated situation where they just were arguing about it the whole
goodness,
time.
goodness.
Which, yeah.
But sometimes you got to take that risk, right? Because on the flip side, you could have gone with someone else and had the most, if it had been the right person, you would have had the most amazing time ever. So,
Yeah.
So you got to sometimes take that risk, a calculated risk,
Yeah.
live and learn, right? Like,
Yeah.
or come to a podcast party, you know?
Yeah, right. I still prefer traveling as soon as possible
Wow.
with anyone
Yeah.
because I feel like right off the bat, is this going to work or is it not?
Yeah.
But maybe not 7 days. That was
Yeah.
a mistake on my part.
Well, you got a lot of great memories out of it.
It was
I saw
amazing.
your Instagram stories and
Yes,
photos.
the trip was absolutely
I was wondering
incredible.
what was going on.
So was everybody else.
I was like, damn, here she is in Costa Rica. This girl is
Yep.
just traveling the world.
Yep.
I didn't
Many
know you
people
were.
thought I was going by myself.
I know it looked
Yeah.
like you were going by yourself.
It sure did.
Somebody had to take that picture, right?
Yeah. All right. And so that was what, a few months ago?
Yeah, that was a few months ago. After that, I got into a little bit more of like somewhat of a monogamous relationship. It only lasted for about a month though. I feel like it's just like with seeking, really in general, in online dating, there's so many, like flashy things to catch your attention. So
bad Brad.
Oh, yes, sir.
We would agree.
Yes, yes, yes,
I
yes.
showed him, so I'm still on Seeking, even though Alejandra and I are exclusive. It's for podcast research.
Oh yeah.
yes.
But
I'm stealing that, by the way.
I-
Just down the road.
I've showed Brad some of the messages from the girls I get, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah. I need you to forward those
It's
to
just
me, too.
one-
You can't use them, so make sure.
One after another that could get me easily distracted. So.
Yeah.
But Alejandra goes through my phone. She's like, all right, let me see who you're talking to.
Yeah, what's going on here?
Yeah. Which I show her the messages.
Yeah.
Well, good. Rightfully so. You are hers now.
So tell us about this relationship.
So that one, I really liked that one. It was kind of like we were just regular dating. He was a little bit younger than the last few that I had seen. So it was a little bit more kind of what I'm used to. I always date older, but not quite as old as I was going. So he was a little bit closer to my age. And we went and did a lot of fun things. We went out to tons of dinners and things like that.
How did he make his money at that young age?
So he owns a couple of different companies, and he is in construction stuff. So he owns construction.
What did the other guy do that took you to Costa Rica?
He,
without giving too much away.
Yeah, he was the inventor of something very commonly used.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yes. And he was actually the original inventor, and then somebody else stole the idea, and it was a whole big thing. But he was very, very, very wealthy. And he also came from old money, too. So tons going on for him. But this one, he was self-made and had a couple of construction companies. And we went and did a staycation at a casino, and we went out to tons of different dinners. I love going to new places for dinner, and he, before construction and all of that, was in the restaurant industry.
Okay.
So he knew a bunch of great places to go. The thing was, though, I liked him, and we, in the beginning, talked about what we were going to do for the arrangement. And we came up with a plan or whatever. And as we were going out on all these dates and everything, I was not getting my end of the arrangement. So then...
Well, that's annoying.
It was annoying. And I was trying to just be nice about it and everything. And I was like, oh, well, I don't know. He'll
It's
get
awkward,
to it.
isn't
Or
it?
yeah, like I don't want to like bring it up and then cause an issue. But eventually it got to the point where things were kind of slowing down. We weren't seeing each other as much. I was seeing other people. He was, I would assume, seeing other people as well. And then it got to the point where I was like, all right, this is definitely fizzling out. And I just texted him and I was like, hey, I feel like we had an agreement and I held up my end of the agreement and you didn't hold up your end. And he was like, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for it to come off that way. No. And he sent me some of what should have been sent.
Yeah.
So you have to speak up, really, is what I have learned. Don't let it go on and just try
It's
and
so
be
hard
nice
for girls,
about
though.
it.
They don't
Just-
want to make waves.
Yeah. And well, if he gets mad about the fact that you're bringing up your agreement,
Yeah.
then maybe he wasn't going to give it to you at all in the first place, and you should just move along because he's untrustworthy.
Mm-hmm.
So
Do you talk about it up front? We didn't talk about it.
it kind of depends on how the conversations go. Sometimes I'll talk about it up front. Sometimes I won't. I found that I have a lot more success, like long-term success, waiting to talk about it and kind of getting to know each other first and then kind of going over what we plan on doing and things like that. But I think with him, we talked about it earlier on, and then it's like it was all of a sudden forgotten.
Bad Brad, what's your experience on that?
Oh, well, I hate to hear that. I mean, I think I just never, sometimes you get busy in work and life and you do truly forget for a few days or a week or something. But, I think he's shooting himself in the foot because he's obviously missing out on a great opportunity. And it's because he's wanted to play games or was just hoping she would forget, I guess. I don't know.
Do you bring up the arrangement in the beginning?
I like to. Yeah, just to make sure we're in the same page and same ballpark.
It's hit and miss for me because I've committed to things
Yeah.
and then I overcommitted.
Okay.
And I'm like,
Right.
now I've told them I'm going to give them this and,
Yeah.
I don't think I'm getting my money's worth or,
Right. Well, you weren't committing to monthly though, right?
No.
Yeah. So that's for me. It's, I'll commit to that first couple times and then, from there we can figure out if we're going to continue it or change the parameters or something. But yeah, of course, it always goes up if it goes anywhere. It's not going to go down or anything. So, yeah.
And then I've had really good dates, like with Jennifer.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, here you go. I mean, this was fantastic.
Right, absolutely.
You're not going to have to ask me.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
There's no twisting of the arm.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This poor guy's listening to the podcast probably going, damn it, I should have just went ahead and held up my end of the bargain.
Yeah. It was,
And now it's blown. Now you're like, I wouldn't even want to see you again, right?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you're untrustworthy at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else are you going to forget?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that one kind of fizzled out.
Yeah, that one kind of fizzled out. I'm talking to one at the moment that he could potentially be the one. When I say it out loud like that, it kind of makes me think probably not, but
He's the one for now.
yeah, he might be the one for the moment, but he is very attractive. He's super tall. He's very giving, and we get along very well. So he does not live here, though. So he travels a lot for work and plans on bringing me places with him when he's traveling for work. But we haven't quite gotten there yet because we just kind of started getting to know each other in November. So we'll see what happens with that one. But things are going well with him.
Do you reach out or you just only respond to people that message you?
Sometimes I'll reach out if, I'm bored and haven't had a lot of action going on in my messages, but most of the time people reach out to me. Yeah. So
You still get a ton of messages or have they died down a little bit?
they've definitely died down now. Something that I realized is that I don't know what it is, but I have several friends I've gotten to go on to Seeking too, and in the beginning, you get messages, and then it's like they just go away. Mm-hmm. And then you have to boost your profile, which you have to pay for.
Yeah.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, here's hundreds of messages again.
Well, here's the issue. When I search, I only search for people that are online now.
Yep.
And it's only people I message.
And I remember hearing you saying that, so I would always leave my little thing
Yeah, so you want to
open.
leave that open.
Yeah.
The problem with Arizona is probably not this way where you're from, Brad, but I can go through, I'll set it at show me 100 profiles at a time.
Right.
And literally there will be 3 to 4 pages
Right.
of people are online. I hardly ever get to the
Right.
second or third page, but there's just so many
Yeah.
shiny objects.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy, but yeah. So there's definitely an algorithm.
But
going on
I
there.
met a girl who says she always pays for the boost because they're always going to show 2 people at the top, and they're usually in gold.
Yep.
They're the ones that have paid for the boost. What was it, $5
Yeah.
or something? What is it? I don't even know what the price
it's literally
is.
like $5.
Yeah.
And
She says I always pay for it because otherwise I'm going to get buried.
I'll boost mine.
Do you really?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. You can definitely, I don't do it all the time, but kind of like she said, sometimes maybe you're in a new area and you just want to, just go to the top, or maybe like you said, kind of things are a little slow or just whatever.
Well, I know Seeking gave me a free boost without my knowledge one time.
Yeah.
Because I started getting all these messages, but a lot of them were from out of state and out of country.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
and there
when
is a
they
lot
did
of that.
that.
Yeah, and that's
And I was
still
like,
true.
oh, well, but my messages definitely increased.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we gave you a free boost.
It only takes one good one to change it and make it worth it. That's the way I look at it. Because that's what always my mindset is when I've been on there. It just takes you meet that one great person that you end up being with for a year or two, and you're like, thank goodness I did that boost, right? Just because, if you just missed each other in the internets, as they say, they might not be in your life. So, or if you didn't go to dinner with some friends, maybe perhaps, that just so that one interaction can lead to a 2-3 year, or who knows, right? And you maybe future marriages and things of that name.
Have you tried any other dating sites?
I signed up for, what was the one with benefits in it?
Secret Benefits?
I think it was Secret Benefits, yeah. And I went on there for a little while, and I didn't like it. It was just a lot of strange, weird messages that I was getting, and I didn't even want to file through them. And it was just, no. So I've pretty much only been on Seeking, but I mean, every time I do a boost, I get hundreds of messages.
Okay, so out of these hundreds of messages, how do we get through to you? What does a guy have to say to get your attention? Or is it just the look?
It is
profile.
a variety of things. I want to see pictures. I don't like it when someone has absolutely nothing in there. Like, you don't even have to show your face, but I need to see something. Mm-hmm. I also want to see someone who puts time into their bio and what they're looking for, but I also don't want to see someone who wrote an essay. Because I'm not reading all of it.
I ain't got time for that.
That's right.
I am not reading all of this.
That's the same way I am.
So
I've seen some, they're paragraph after paragraph, and I'm like, who has time to read all this?
Yes. And I would say the message that they send me doesn't really matter, but what's on their profile does. Like, do you want to travel? Mm-hmm. Are you looking for someone that you can take care of and spoil and things like that? Are you only looking for someone that you can hook up with? Because that's not me. I'm looking for more than that. So it would just fully depend on what was in their profile. And that was it. If you don't have anything in your profile, goodbye.
There you go.
Bye-bye.
Well, I know you'd written some notes. Did we cover most of them?
The one that we didn't go over was I am talking to a dom.
Oh,
yeah.
And I was actually looking for a dom.
Yeah, but you told me that you're pretty dominant yourself.
I am. I can definitely be a switch. But if I dominate you, we are never seeing each other again.
Really? And that is because?
Because that is not what I want. If I can easily dominate you, I mean, I need a strong masculine man. Mm-hmm. And when he says, sit down, I will sit when the time comes. So if I'm dominating someone, absolutely not. We'll never see each other again.
Okay. So you're talking to a dom.
Yes. And
got you a little excited.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
And based on his profile, I don't remember what it said, but I could tell that he was definitely more dominant. And I was kind of thinking he might be a dom. So one thing that I have realized is if someone is actually a real dom, they're probably not going to talk about it right away.
Yeah.
And they're also not going to be acting like they're the biggest man in the room and saying, oh, I have such a dominant personality and things like that. That kind of person is fake. When it comes to a real dom, they're, to me, in my opinion, actually kind of more of like they like to serve, because the dominance that they're putting over you is for you. They're doing exactly what you want them to do up until the point when you don't want it anymore, type thing. So that's how I've kind of like figured out how to see through like the fake doms, if you will, out there. Is it's probably going to be a bad experience. Mm-hmm. And then you find one that's like the one that I have found, and he is absolutely amazing. He doesn't live here either. He was kind of like my dom through the phone for a little while. And in the beginning, I know, right? In the beginning, I was like, I don't even know if he's real or not, but I don't even care. He can continue being my dom through the phone, and I will be happy with it.
It's Lily's got robot chicken or whatever.
Yeah.
But he actually snowbirds here. So he's here now, and he is most definitely real. And it's going to be fun.
Yay.
Well, you're going to have to keep us updated.
No doubt.
I definitely will.
Definitely. We talk on social media all the time, but you're definitely going to have to keep me
we want to hear how this goes with the dog.
updated.
I'll come back and let everybody know.
Yeah. What a great run you've had. I mean, you had a couple, and you went to Costa Rica, and now you've got a dom. So
more importantly, she met Marcus.
Oh, that's
Exactly.
very true. That's true. You started all this.
Marcus is the most important here.
Trendsetter.
Right. Well, Bad Brad, I know you had some notes too. Anything else you want to cover before we get out of here?
I mean, I guess it would just go back to the party. You sent us to the after party. Me and Short King and his Barker's Beauties went to.
There was a few people that kind of hung around after it was all over, and you got a chance to get into a little more small, intimate group.
It was a beautiful thing. It's amazing. You've got this group of people that have known each other for 48 hours, And then we're sitting at the dinner or the table at the restaurant, just sharing stories, basically kind of like what we're doing here. But it's just, we had some sugar veterans, we had some newbies, we had guys and gals, and just swapping stories, sharing stories, and just giving advice, to really be around other people that are in this, within this island of misfit toys, if you will, to share those stories and, just camaraderie, it's great. So we had a fun time.
Well, I'm glad you came into our lives, Jennifer. Yeah. I always love hearing from you. Love seeing your stories. So keep those up. And the hour goes very quickly, doesn't it?
Does.
It's unbelievable.
Right.
Well, we got to get out of here.
Get out.
But if you want to share your crazy sugar dating stories like Jennifer just did, and she's going to have more she's going to share later.
Right. And she's going to be at the parties.
There's,
You're going to be at all the parties.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Every single party.
You're coming to our
now.
next one.
Oh, I will be there.
Okay.
No matter what.
Well, if you want to be a part of it too, go to our website at secretsofasugardaddy.com and follow us on Instagram. Message me there. I answer those, right?
Yeah.
Right, Jennifer?
Absolutely.
Oh, you sure?
We converse through
Right away.
Instagram. Yeah. Lilly gets those messages too, and we read your comments and stories. So follow us there. And then become a VIP supporter of the show. Go to patreon.com/Secrets of a Sugar Daddy podcast. You're going to find some cool stuff there. We're populating that as we speak. Sneak peeks of upcoming shows, all kinds of pictures and other things. So we'd always appreciate a sponsorship there. And I think that's about it. Guys, thanks again.
Yeah. Thanks for having us. It was great.
You bet.
Super fun.
All right. Until next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us. If you'd like to connect or even be on the show, we'd love to hear from you at secretsofasugardaddy.com.